A spokesman for the state's Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy said they started getting reports from Michigan communities that were consistent with what federal agencies wrote. Earlier in the week, Minnesota said that more than 30 of its water systems had been targeted following warnings about Iranian hackers. The FBI is investigating. I'm Donna Warder.
A Twin Falls city spokesman says 3 people were shot and killed, 7 more wounded, some critically in a shooting at an In-N-Out Burger restaurant in southern Idaho Saturday afternoon. Police responded to the shooting and found the body of the suspected gunman. More details at townhall.com.
Jeez. Button's still not working properly. Here's the sports button. All right, good morning. When you hear that music, that means there's a couple of technical difficulties here with getting my my music up, but that should be fixed and good to go before the end of this first segment. Anyway, it usually fixes itself, is what I'm saying. Good morning, everybody. This is Middleboro in Review. I am Joey Driscoll. Today is the 2nd of October. Well, no, August. August. Not quite October yet. We are in August 2nd. Yes, a new month. Started yesterday. This new month. And really good month so far. We'll have some details about what me and Don and I did yesterday. We'll have some details about that. Went to go see a concert. We'll talk a lot about that when Don gets here in a little bit. So probably in the second half of the show. So stay tuned for that. Open phone lines 508-822-1106 is the number to call if you want to call in and talk about whatever is on your mind this morning. Got a lot of great topics that we are going to talk about on the show today. Let's start off with our weather and our state histories. Weather 72 degrees in Taunton at our Hong Kong City Studios here on Broadway. Cloudy skies today. Wind gusts could reach up to 20 miles per hour today. There is rain forecasted, but it won't be really until tonight after midnight. It's going to rain pretty much all day tomorrow, unfortunately. Monday, tomorrow looks like a washout with potential thunderstorms in there as well. 95% chance of rain, high of 78, low of 71 degrees. So it might be a little bit muggy out there. Temperatures kind of go way up, unfortunately, after this. There is a chance of rain every single day for at least the next 10 days, which is another unfortunate thing as well. But I mean, if it does rain, maybe that cools things off a little bit because the temperatures a lot of the days will be in the high 80s. Not quite 90, but high 80s, which still will be uncomfortable. Middleboro, 72 degrees, high of 83, low of 70, cloudy out the day today. You probably won't see much, if any, sun today as well in Middleboro. Rain, same thing for tomorrow in Middleboro, 78 degrees, low of 71. Driscoll, Texas, right now it is 79 degrees, high of 96, low of 79. Light winds today with mixed conditions, sometimes sunny, sometimes cloudy. And then clear for the entire week. Temperatures in the mid to low 90s, so it should be pretty nice in Driscoll, Texas. Driscoll, North Dakota, high today is going to be 97 degrees. The heat advisory is in effect through today, and it is going to immediately cool down after this. High temperature tomorrow is 83, and the high temperature on Tuesday is 76, so it will cool down before heating right back up again with next weekend seeing another 90-degree day in Driscoll, North Dakota. Driscoll, Holiday, Florida. There we go. Holiday, Florida. Currently 78 degrees and cloudy, high of 84, low of 78. There is rain in the forecasted for the majority of the day, about 50% chance. That's pretty much every single day in Florida currently, especially in the summer. But it's going to be pretty nice today if it doesn't rain. High of 86 tomorrow. Chance, pretty sizable chance of rain. A low of 78. But the low temperatures seem to slowly be going down as well as we head into August there in Florida. Now our today in histories. 1776, during the American Revolution, the signing of the U.S. Declaration of Independence by the Second Continental Congress. That takes place on this day, August 2nd. 1790, the first U.S. Census is conducted. And since then, we've been doing that census every 10 years or so. 1869, Japan's Edo Society class system is abolished as part of the Meiji Restoration reforms. 1923, U.S. Vice President Calvin Coolidge becomes president upon the death of Warren G. Harding. 1939, Albert Einstein and Leo Szilard write a letter to Franklin Delano Roosevelt urging him to begin the Manhattan Project to develop a nuclear weapon, which eventually they would start the Manhattan Project. Not too long after that. 1990, the Iraqi invasion of Kuwait. Iraq invades Kuwait and temporarily establishes the Republic of Kuwait, a puppet state on the orders of Saddam Hussein. That eventually leads to the Gulf War. Birthdays, 1754. Pierre Charles L'Enfant, French-American architect and engineer, designed in Washington, D.C., designed a lot of what D.C. Has become, or what had become at the time. Pretty big figure in DC. He's got a metro station named after him, so pretty important there. 1834, Frederic Auguste Bartholdi, a French sculptor. He designed the Statue of Liberty, which was eventually given to the United States. 1923, Shimon Peres, a Polish-Israeli lawyer and politician. He became the 9th president of Israel. 1932, Peter O'Toole, British-Irish actor and producer. 1951, Joe Lynn Turner, an American singer-songwriter and guitarist as well. Born this day in 1966. Tim Wakefield, American baseball player and sportscaster, most famously for the Red Sox, and born on this day, turning 42 years old today, our Vice President, J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance, the 50th Vice President of the United States of America. Again, he turns 42 today. Deaths on this day: 1859, Horace Mann, an American educator and politician, local as well. 1876, Wild Bill Hickok, American sheriff, passed away on this day in 1876. I think I said born on this day. No, passed away on this day in 1876. Passing away on this day in 1922, Alexander Graham Bell, a Scottish Canadian engineer, and he invented the telephone. Passing away on this day in 1923, as we mentioned earlier, during our Today in Histories, Warren G. Harding passed away on this day, American journalist and politician, 29th President of the United States, and passing away on this day in 2022, Vin Scully, an American sportscaster and game show host. There you go. That's your Today in History's birthdays. And also passings as well. Now we go over to our local, some local stuff. We got a couple minutes here for a local, some local things. In the second half of the show today, we're going to get into some other topics as well. A lot of it's going to be music related as well. So stay tuned for that. As mentioned here, I think we mentioned a couple of times on WBBF here this week, the Pan Mass Challenge cycled through Lakeville, and that happened yesterday. The Pan Mass Challenge, which brings together 6,000 plus cyclists and 4,000 volunteers in the fight against cancer, made a stop yesterday in Lakeville for this year's running. They stopped at around 11 a.m. towards 2 p.m. That was at Aponequid High School. That was for a water stop. The Pan Mass Challenge is a 2-day, 177-mile bike-a-thon. And that has a goal to raise $79 million for critical cancer research care throughout the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. Local participants from Lakeville included Karen Quinn, Elon Gallagher, James Gwynn, Madison Goodman, Lisa Gallagher, Mammoth Gallagher, Deborah Lucas, Wayne Sulla, Dwayne Medeiros, Mario Triani, Catherine Lally, Charles McGuire, John Medeiros Sr., Jay Catalano, Peyton Goodman, Alice Williams, Helen Gregory, Paul Kelleher Jr., Emma Kelleher, Jeff Pierce, Jessica Miller, and Mark Buron. None of our riders were Barry Heideck, Brian McDonald, Jane Evans, Dan Landerville, Colleen Tangway, Nancy Gregory, Donna Foley, Sadie Wilkinson, Karen Patet, Henry Flink, I believe. That's how you pronounce the last name. I apologize if I pronounced it incorrectly. Debbie Dutra, Ed Dabrowski, and Brian Wilkinson. So there you go. Those were your local Pan Mass Challenge riders. That happened again yesterday in Lakeville. So I wanted to definitely talk about that and mention that as well. There will be an Elks fundraiser for veterans. That's going to be coming up on August the 22nd. Middleboro Elks will sponsor a Red, White, and Blues Veterans fundraiser. That's going to be on Saturday, August 22nd. The Elks are seeking event sponsors and donors and are selling also tickets for this family event, which is open to everyone. In addition to the motorcycle ride, pig roast, raffles, and live music. The event will also have a bouncy house with a slide, dunk tank, and other activities. That's available for kids and their families. Advance tickets can be reserved for $25 in the Middleboro Elks Members Lounge upstairs at 24 High Street. Tickets will also be sold the day of the event. That's for $30. Anyone interested in volunteering for this event or wanting more information should contact committee chair Judy Sanger. And that is Gmail judy.cinco1274 again at gmail.com as well. So there you go. So that's happening as well. And one other thing we'll mention as well. I believe we mentioned this already. Actually, we did. Actually, we didn't. I don't think we did. This upcoming week, there is a great event at the Lakeville Center for Active Living, and it's going to be a very interesting topic. It's about shipwrecks, and Don is joining us. Let's get that. Why, yellow mic, right, Don? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good morning, Joey.
And we know we talked about one of the most famous shipwrecks, I think, in American history, and that would be the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. We've talked about that before, and all the interesting history and the sad history with that as well. So shipwrecks are always kind of this interesting topic to talk about, Don.
Yeah, we had the Andrea Dory off the coast of Nantucket, I believe it was from 1954 or 1956. Off the top of my head, I didn't cheat. I didn't look at Sari. But it was around that time frame. So that was close to home on that one, I think.
Yes.
And then you know, countless ferry disasters over the years in Europe and the Middle East, because a lot of countries don't have the network we have. There's a lot of vehicle ferries. That's part of the road network system. So there's a lot of ferries, a lot more than we have in this country. So you hear about those, you hear about everyone going down, and you're talking ferry disaster. You're talking all those people. You're talking 100 vehicles. That's a lot of mass to go down. You're talking all that fuel that went to the, it's just what a disaster that would be. Ferry disaster? Are you kidding me? And you get, the 100 vehicles in tow with all those people, the crew, the ship itself. It's a disaster.
So if you go to this event in Lakeville, you'll learn more about local shipwrecks during the talk. This is going to be hosted by Nancy Frank of Frankly Speaking about shipwrecks of Cape Cod. That's to be held at 1 p.m. on Thursday at the Lakeville Center for Active Living. Nancy A. Franks will discuss historical shipwrecks that have occurred off the coast of Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard, and Nantucket, also known as the Ocean Graveyard. Sign-ups are required at 508-947-7224. Stay tuned to Thursday's program. Maybe Paul Lazarovich may have Nancy Franks calling in. I think he's had her on before.
What's the time?
So stay tuned for that. That's 9 to 11 a.m. this Thursday.
Oh, wow.
And every Thursday here on WBBF. So stay tuned to that program.
I meant like the shipyard, the ship.
The shipyard event?
Yeah.
1 o'clock. 1 p.m. Thursday.
Oh, wow.
1 p.m. Thursday. That is going to be a very interesting topic. A very interesting talk. There's always some great people that come to this area, whether it be the Middleboro Library or an event happening in Lakeville or in Halifax, to talk about some really interesting topics that maybe not a lot of people talk about in everyday life.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember you talked about the World War I sub off the coast of New Orleans.
Yes, I did.
In the tugboat.
Yes, I did.
I was talking to my nephew about that, and he found that really, because my nephew Jay, he's on duty on a tugboat. He does 2 weeks on. He absolutely loves it. he was out there. You got to see the tall ships up close and personally on the tug. So that was really interesting. I'm not sure if they got to talk about that because didn't the tugboat go down
I don't know.
in that story?
I don't.
It's been a while. I think you did that story about
do not
4 or 5 years ago. But that was interesting. That was that was one of the first times since the War of 1812 that enemies got close to the shores. I think it was in 1917 and 1918, whatever it was. But Cape Cod, right? Maybe we should be
Yes.
talking about that. That'd be really interesting too, you know?
Also, getting towards 7:30 here. After our news break, we'll touch upon tomorrow's, I think 10th or 11th at this point, Random Summer Fun Run. We'll touch upon that a little bit. We're gonna do, I think, majority of music here in the next half hour as well, so stay tuned for that. Not only are we going to talk about the great concert we went to yesterday at the Guthrie Center in Great Barrington, Massachusetts. Really great band that performed yesterday. Not only are we going to talk about that, but we're also going to talk about lyrics and songs. This is a topic me and Don were talking about amongst ourselves yesterday on the ride over to Great Barrington. We were listening to, a couple of songs, and on the ride home as well. We were listening to a couple of songs with the lyrics. We were kind of discussing the lyrics a little bit. One of the songs we were talking about was Elton John's "Leave On," and you were asking me what some of those lyrics meant. Let's try to find that out for you and discuss that as well.
There's another song that Elton John did too.
Mm-hmm.
And which always, every time I hear it, and I think it came out in 1976, is Philadelphia Freedom.
Philadelphia Freedom.
Every time I hear that song, I want to get up and just march. I've been listening to that song all my life, and I've never shut it off.
Yeah.
That's one of those songs I can listen to that song 20 times in a row, and I'll never get sick of it.
A lot of the songs that Elton John has done are just like really, there's a lot to bite into when it comes to the lyrics.
And another Elton John, "Don't Go Breaking My Heart."
Exactly.
With Kiki D.
Exactly.
Oh my God, I had such a crush on her. When watching the videos and stuff, and that video was done before MTV started doing videos.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of MTV videos that came out, because MTV started airing in 1981. A lot of their videos were they were filmed for the MTV era, but a lot of it was like footage. I mean, any Beatles. You'd see, you got the rooftop concerts of the Beatles.
Yeah.
You got all these Don Kirshner rock concert shows, Top of the Pops.
Mm-hmm.
You have all these different genres that were out there before MTV was even existed, and they had videos.
Let's take a phone call. We'll bypass the news. We don't need to do it because we have a phone call. So let's take that phone call and say good morning, caller.
Well, good morning, Joe. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Jimmy. How you doing?
Well, I didn't call up to complain, but I want to make an anecdotal personal note that my best friend for life, that person that has known me longer than anybody other than my parents, with whom I am in regular contact with, although not daily anymore, because he lives a bit of ways up near Walpole, Dedham. But he's a lifelong Taunton lad who, his name once upon a time rang a lot of bells in Taunton, and his name was Edmund Fitzgerald.
Wow.
So each year in June we get together to celebrate and sing his song.
In November, you mean, right?
November, yeah. Well, my birthday is in his are both in June.
Oh.
But we always sing the rest of the Edmund Fitzgerald, and so whenever I hear that song mentioned, it's going to cause me to call him later today because we're at that age where we're having some, life is a little interesting when you go to the doctor with a sore back and you come out with, 6 months to live and that sort of thing, Don. Wait till you get old, Joe, put it off as long as you can. Elton John, I am a student of his music and his life, and he's an interesting character to say the least. He had a difficult life because he was a closeted homosexual, and I say that advisedly because we seem to be somewhat like we kind of blithely go along. All right, somebody's gay, so what? These days, but that wasn't always the case. And two songs stand out in his catalog to me that define him. One of which is the song "Rocket Man," which he said he wrote after he had his first experience with another man, an older man. And the other song that to me is that song that, and I actually worked it out and had a band that did a run through of it. I might give it another try. Is "I'm Still Standing."
Yeah,
That is the ultimate survival song. That, you hear, "I Will Survive" by Gloria Gaynor, and there's some other ones. But to me, the song that whenever and I've been running road races where I was struggling, and I just started singing that one, Don. That to me is, I think that would be something if James Montgomery or somebody did, it could be a really rock and blues rock song.
Yeah, it's funny you're talking music, and I want to get back on the. First of all, I don't want to get up. I want to ask you a question first, but Philadelphia Freedom and Levon.
Mm-hmm.
What are those lyrics about?
Well, Philadelphia Freedom, he was, I think, because I understand the genesis of the song, was that Philadelphia was where American music and American bandstand first burst on sort of the national scene. But it also, Philadelphia was the home of a lot of early rhythm and blues and soul artists who had branched out of the Deep South because of segregation. And Philadelphia was one of the first cities to sort of transition from being sort of an all-white with a very small black ghetto and it to having a very large segment of the population black, and they were middle class. They had jobs and they worked and they owned businesses, and so I understand the etymology of Philadelphia Freedom was he talked about being in Philadelphia and the music scene and how it was integrated and it was alive and there was all this energy, and how Dick Clark had shown how teenagers could have fun and it was good, clean fun, and the music wasn't all about sex and drugs and things, but it just made him feel good. So that was my take on Philadelphia Freedom.
And it happened to, I think, didn't the song come out in like 1976? Bicentennial. I mean, anything about, to make you feel good.
Absolutely, you're absolutely correct, Don. And I think that's one of the inspirations for it was with the bicentennial happening, was the epicenter of it in Philadelphia.
There was a few songs.
Where the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence were both born. There was
a few songs that came out, and you told us about what the lyrics meant about that. But then you got another song by what's that? Starlight Electric Band or whatever. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure the name. I just forgot the name. It says Star at Night, Afternoon Delight. That
Afternoon. That was the Starland Electrical Band.
That's who that was, and that was around '76. And the lyrics are totally not. It came out in '76, and everyone was celebration 1976, but the lyrics were totally.
It's not.
It wasn't about celebrating the country's birthday at all.
It's not about America.
So I mean, it's
put things in a context though, and some of this has relevancy to today. In the mid '70s, in Richard Nixon scored the largest electoral victory in the history of presidential elections in 1972, and within 2 years. He was forced from office because it was discovered that he had not only approved of, but he had covered up criminal acts committed on behalf of his campaign. Now, you hear a lot of rhetoric today about how we're losing our democracy and there's voter fraud, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I can't think of anything more dangerous than the government using its power to undermine its political opponents, which is what Nixon did. He was so afraid of losing the election, he used his campaign money through surrogates to break into the Democratic National Committee's headquarters at the Watergate Hotel to see what their plan was so he could outflank them in November and win. And it was just, it was called our national malaise. Gerald Ford had become vice president because Nixon's vice president, Spiro Agnew, had resigned because it was shown he had been he had extorted money and used his powers as a county executive before he was governor of Maryland. He was a criminal. And Gerald Ford, the 25th Amendment came to be, and because we didn't have, we had nothing in the Constitution before then that if the office of vice president became vacant, what do you do? And don't forget, Andrew Johnson served without a vice president after Lincoln was assassinated. Chester Arthur served as president without a vice president after Garfield died. Teddy Roosevelt served as president without a vice president after McKinley died. So in the middle 70s, there was credible evidence, and this is voluminous. This isn't anything for a little talk on the radio this morning, but there was credible evidence that many people knew of Nixon's involvement in Watergate, and hence they knew of Agnew's criminal past. So they said, we have to get Agnew out, but then we got to fill the office with somebody that we can trust if Nixon goes down. And bear in mind that once the 25th Amendment took effect, that meant that the Speaker of the House, who was third in line in succession, would never become president, because if you become president and vice president is vacant, the first thing you do is you nominate somebody to be vice president, and if your party, of course, controls the Senate, you get who you want. I'm kind of digressing. That's why whenever anybody would say, well, let's impeach Biden or let's impeach Trump, I would say, well, if you impeach Biden, that makes Harris president, which to me was the most awful thing that could happen. And if you impeach Trump, that makes J.D. Vance president, and I think that's probably even as bad as Harris. But the point is in the middle 70s, when these songs came out, particularly Philadelphia Freedom is one, that Gerald Ford pardoned Nixon, and he said, our long national nightmare is over. He wanted to end the lawsuits. He wanted to end the investigation. He said, let's get on with life. Let's go back to being America. And songs like Afternoon Delight were a welcome relief to the darkness that had befallen our national political mindset.
With circling back to Levon, there's two pieces of lyrics in Levon that me and Don were discussing. We're trying to figure out what these mean. We kind of couldn't figure it out. We didn't really.
Well, we didn't read it.
We didn't read it. We didn't come to a conclusion. And those were, in Jesus, he wants to go to Venus. And then the other one, Don, you mentioned this.
The New York Times.
The New York Times. When the New York Times said God is dead and the war has begun. Well, in your personal opinion, Jim, what do you think those lyrics mean?
And Jim, before you answer, I want to hear from you, because I think for a reason we didn't read it for a reason, because sometimes everything you read online isn't the truth.
Yeah.
I could read something and you could tell me something totally different, and I'd probably listen to you more because you know more about music than probably Google does.
Well, I Levon is the song that's one of the I got a list of songs, John, that I've attempted, but once I actually tried to deliver them live in person, whether solo or as part of a band, they just didn't work. It kind of fell apart for a lot of reasons. But I looked at Levon as an allegorical tale about probably a fictitious figure, but somebody that Elton John had compiled a number of characteristics into it. And, perhaps a homeless Vietnam veteran. And he was telling a sad tale of somebody who started life and things just didn't go well. And now he is down and out, and all he has for hope is his salvation in the Lord. That it was very much a spiritual, almost scripture lyric. That this was talking about a down and out person who had done no wrong, but had suffered greatly, both physically, mentally, and was perhaps a broken person. And all he had was, you know, there shall be Levon, he shall be a good man, and so forth. And I'm kind of looking at him right now, and I just think that Levon was one of those spiritual songs that writers write, and Michael Jackson got accused of some very bad things about his lyrics and his songs, and his publicist said, these are just simply creative music. This aren't necessarily, okay, this is real in life and I'm going to write a song about it. That's not how it works. You feel the music, you have a sense of something. I mean, James Bond was a fictitious character, okay? And Ian Fleming wrote some books about it. That there are people who are created out of perhaps their
Oh, you there, Jim? Did we lose him? I think we lost him.
Jim, call back if you hear us. We
Yeah,
lost you.
if you call back, yeah, because I think we lost you.
Until, it's funny because that song Levon is almost like a sermon.
Yeah.
One
Other thing, if he calls back here, one other thing I would want to ask him. There's two other songs we listened to. Yes, Echo. Yes.
Echo.
Trying to fix that.
Echo Chamber.
Trying to fix that. Okay, there we go. There's two other songs we listened to. I believe on the way home. Shooting Star by Bad Company and Lucky Man by Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Those songs, I mean, it's two different people kind of talking about here, but kind of a similar path, kind of a similar story. They're upbeat songs. And you listen to them, they're kind of upbeat. And then the last, both songs, both instances, the last lyrics take it from it kind of being an upbeat, kind of go lucky kind of song to it being kind of dark and sad, you know, because the characters that they were talking about in these songs dying. One dying on a battlefield, Lucky Man, and the other one dying
From
a
drug
overdose.
A drug overdose, yeah.
A drug overdose in Shooting Star.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think, Don, about those lyrics?
I mean, as far as music for me, I'm not one of those people who put a radio in the backdrop and say paint my kitchen or something like that and listen to it on the radio. I can listen to the radio, but it can't be like I can't listen to music deep meaning, just working around the house kind of thing.
Yeah,
I kind of want to absorb it. I mean, you can listen to, like 50s music's great for working around the house because it's it's just la la kind of stuff.
Yeah,
You start getting into a lot of
it is not deep.
the lyrical wordsmithing, I'd say. Okay, from the late
Unless
60s, 70s, and 80s, as far as some deep stuff.
unless we're talking about Bobby Darin, then we get some lyrical kind of
Right.
deepness in there that you're gonna have to kind of sit there and kind of
Right.
look at, like,
Right.
oh, okay.
Right. So I mean, I figure when I'm driving around, that's when I listen to the stuff that's really I got to think about, because an artist is, say, hey, this is what I'm putting, so you need to. I feel you need to, for the artist, I think you need to absorb it and do the best you can, and you're gonna portray it any way you feel how you portray.
Yeah.
And I was listening to Neil Peart's interview, and he talked about that. He talked about how lyrically things were like that, as far as how you took it. And
Exactly.
I'll give you an example of a song, "Open Sequence" by Rush. It's off "Hold Your Fire" album. And when I was younger, I mean, I was angry. I was an angry man. And I'm not gonna get into why I was an angry man. I just was.
Mm-hmm.
And that album came out in 1987. And I really didn't start listening to it because I was like, a lot of Rush fans were like, oh, what happened after singles? and Grace Under Pressure, or whatever. But that album, actually, three of my friends, my friend Patrick, my friend Kevin, actually four friends, and John, we all kind of embraced that album together all at the same time. And we just loved it. And the song Open Secrets meant a lot to me as far as my youth growing up and how I can forgive. And it says, you got to move on. It knocked the chip off my shoulder because we all have a chip on our shoulder, but how big is your chip? So
Yes,
that's pretty much on that. So, I mean, when I listen to deep thought, deep lyrical music, I can't be working. I can't be.
You have to listen to it.
You can't be a backdrop.
Exactly.
I'd rather the 50s music, classical country.
Country music. You got some deep lyrics in that and those, especially in some of today's music
Right.
as well. Some of today's country does have some deep lyrical meaning in it,
Right.
which is great. I mean, that's awesome.
I'm like Beach Boys though.
Fast Car.
Beach Boys.
Good example is Fast Car by Tracy Chapman.
Another song that it came out in I think 1988 or 89, and I remember where I was living. I was living with my brother in Milton, and we just both looked at each other, and we didn't even have to say anything. We just loved that song.
Absolutely.
Every time we heard it on the radio, we turned it on. It was like one of those religious things where if say I was going to work with them or we're going somewhere, and that song came on, and he turned the radio up, and we both didn't talk. The conversation stopped. We just listened to the song.
Absolutely.
All the way to the end. Okay, so a song like that, two brothers, because two brothers, never see eye to eye, and that's their job. You don't, see eye to eye a lot. You love your brother, but you don't see eye to eye. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
I drive a Chevy, he drives a Ford. It'll always be that way till die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just but both of us just stop in our tracks, silence, and we to this day, if we hear that song, we don't talk during that song. There's certain songs we don't talk during. So it was a bond. It was a certain song, and it was just a folk song from a woman in Cambridge talking, and the lyric on that was about her. And it was pretty obvious what the lyrics about. It was about taking care of her father. Couldn't take care of himself. He was alcoholic or whatever. But I thought that song brought a lot of I'm going to stick it out with you kind of thing. You hear a lot of lyrics where I'm going to walk and I'm done with you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She's talking about pain. This person is, but I'm gonna stick it out with you. I'm gonna stay with you. I'm gonna do, and that's why I think and I think sometimes when you hear lyrics like that, there's people who quit and there's people who don't quit.
Yeah.
And you don't know what inspirations you. That's what I'm not saying.
I'm glad I brought this,
you.
I'm glad I brought the song up. I'm glad you talked about that and the lyrical meaning of that song, because it's a great segue to our next segment. Amazing segue to our next segment. Hey, good job, Don. We're gonna take a quick break and then we're gonna get to that next segment.
Jimmy, if you're on, please call back.
Yeah, please call
I'm
back.
not. His phone might have died.
Anyway, we are talking about what we went to do at the Guthrie Center yesterday. Went to go see a great concert. We will tell you about that next. We'll be right back.
How many minutes of commercial you got?
45 seconds.
Celebrate National Farmers Market Week, August
45
2nd through
seconds.
8th. Visit your local farmers market for peak summer
There it
produce, from sweet corn
Here's
and
the
heirloom
set list.
potatoes to peaches and
The
blueberries.
struggle is the song.
Local farmers strengthens your
You
community
need
and
it
helps
then,
to
right?
keep fresh fruit accessible
No, I don't
across
need it.
Massachusetts.
Are you gonna like talk about the songs? Did you research the songs or no?
No, I
Hear you.
I just want to talk about.
Oh, we
Go
got
ahead.
two set lines. You take one, I take one.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, they're two different ones.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. I want to talk about the struggle first,
Okay.
because that was a song that it was talking about three types of people, where the third type person will stay with you through everything, and that's similar to Fast Car. It really is. It's similar to Fast Car. Right. 3, 2, 1, 0. And welcome back. I turned down the bumper music. There we go. stop the bumper music. There we go. 7:51 a.m. And the reason why I said that was a good segue, we were talking about Tracy Chapman's Fast Car. That was a great segue to what we want to talk about here. So me and Don yesterday, Don and I.
No, it's your show. It's me and Don. All right.
No, I'm gonna get angry phone calls.
No, you're not. Only Aunt Mary doesn't listen this early in the morning. See,
I'm gonna get angry phone calls from other English teachers.
his Aunt Mary was an English teacher, and she said he did a good job. But right, I mean, so I don't know. It's your show. Me and Don. Whatever. I don't know what to say.
Don and I.
You know, I don't care what you say. All right. All right.
I'm gonna try to say it.
It's me. It's your show.
Anyway.
Why do I go first? I'm just over here. I mean, you shut my mic off when I make him mad. All right. Go ahead.
Anyway.
Me and Dan.
Yes. I'll say we
Collective.
we went over to Great Barrington.
My clone and I.
We went over to Great Barrington, and by the way, take different routes to Great Barrington. Don't just take the Pike. There's several great routes that you can take to Great Barrington, where you'll see a whole lot more than you'll see from the Pike. It was really entertaining to drive up.
Everyone forgets that Northwest Connecticut might as well be the Berkshires.
Absolutely.
You got the elevation. The towns all look like Great Barrington, Sheffield. You got Cannon, which is Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
You got all those towns down there that are really, really nice. It's hilly. You got elevation, farms. Everything that the Berkshires has, Northwest Connecticut has.
Yep. So we went to go see the Krishna Guthrie Band yesterday, and that is a grandson.
I think it's Abe's son. Al Guthrie's son, Abe.
Al Guthrie's son, Abe, and a grandson to Arlo.
Before you start, I just want to let you know that Arlo, Mo, and other grandchildren and the family toured with Arlo on his last tour. I think his last world tour was in 2012. He brought the whole family along, and I remember if you ever heard the interviews with Mo Guthrie, Mo was part of it. Actually, I was talking to Mo yesterday. He said he played bass, and he says he's working on the banjo, and little Roy Clark top came out of the woodwork there.
There was a song that they did that, last night that actually that band was working on. It only had the riff, I believe he said, to the song, and he added lyrics. Krishna did added lyrics and kind of made it his own.
That tour, right?
Yeah, during that.
Yeah, he told me they were all together in the hotel, and their guitarist who's touring in 2012.
And
they put something to it. Yeah.
And that's the song. If You Have To, which is just amazing. That one was awesome. The second set really had a lot of good stuff on it. Blue Pill, which is one of their songs. Check that out. One of their singles. It's on YouTube. It's great.
Is it?
It's awesome. Yeah, it is on YouTube.
You checked it all out?
Yes, right. It is on YouTube. Milfoil Blues got a laugh out of the entire audience.
He told us what that
awesome.
was. It's like a vicious, speechy weed.
Yeah.
And Krishna worked like in a pond or a camp or something in a lake, and he was underwater. And we talk about Segway because he says that was a silly song. And after he did that song, he went right into the motorcycle song, one of Arlo's song, and that's a silly song. And he says I got a lot of courage doing this song, but he didn't do it like if anybody knows the motorcycle song by Al Guthrie, is singing, but it's talking too. And Christian didn't do too much talking except at the end of This Land Is Your Land, of Woody Guthrie classic.
Yeah,
his great grandfather actually.
Absolutely,
so and he put a little bit into it. And when I was talking to him at the end of the show, and I said, it doesn't seem like it's your wheelhouse to do the talking, but you did a little.
Yeah, there's a lot of deep songs on that first set too. The Struggle, as well. Talking about three types of people. people who will only be there for you in good times, people who will only be there for you at bad times, and people who will be there for you all the time. I think that's similar. This is where the segue comes in. I think that's similar to Tracy Chapman's Fast Car. I really do.
Yeah.
In their instruction, I really do. I think that's a similar kind of thing.
You know what? To me, it kind of weeds out the fair weather friend.
Absolutely.
Because everyone has a fair weather friend. Fair weather friend, and things are good. You got money in your pocket. You get gas. You get gas in your vehicle. Whatever. Things are well. But when things are dark, and it's just like that's when you need a friend the most. That's when you need somebody you can call, and because it's not all smiles.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that builds character as far as a person. You just can't. I mean, I wish everyone the best luck and they have the happiest life on the land and you have no problem.
Absolutely.
80 years, no problem. If you can pull that off, write a book or something, whatever.
Uh-huh.
But that ain't the case.
No, it's not.
That's not the case.
No,
It's not
no.
the case. It's not the case. And as far as the Tracy Chapman song, she didn't give up.
He did coming into Los Angeles. Great rendition of that song.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome stuff.
Yeah.
He started off with a song that I believe Cole Quest and the City Pickers also had in their set.
But last year.
If I'm not mistaken, I think they did it.
Okay. What song was that?
Minor Key.
Yeah.
I believe they did it, yes.
Okay.
So they did, the Krishna Guthrie Band also did it.
It was a hodgepodge of covers,
Mhm.
some of their stuff.
Lighten My Soul, by the way. Perfect.
He did a song that his father wrote.
I believe that's another original.
He did a song his father wrote, Abe.
Mm-hmm.
He did, I think he might have did 3 Owl songs and maybe one I didn't recognize, but I know he did 2 for sure that I recognize. He did a Pete Seeger song
Yes.
that everyone's singing.
Yes, he did We Shall Overcome.
Yeah, that's that is like a 1940s protest song. I mean, they got protest songs. As far as protest songs, in my opinion, that family got it right.
Absolutely.
Because it's just
Absolutely.
like they do it in such a non-evasive way. It's just like when people do protest song now, it's just they get deep into my soul. They just I don't know.
That's kind of in your face.
It's in your face
Yeah.
and just I don't know. It just seems like they're complaining about it, but there's no talk of love. This is all this passion and
Yeah,
mean,
there's
there's no solution.
absolutely.
I mean,
Another one that he did was Deportee, which was great.
what is it?
Deportee.
Okay,
That was a great one.
was that one of his?
I believe that's another protest song.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What a Wonderful World was so good. Whoever does it, really.
He did that
Yeah,
song in honor of
I've
his
heard
grandmother.
so many good covers.
His grandmother passed away
Yes.
about a year and a half for Owl's wife,
Yep.
and that was the song. So I mean, as far as Mo said, this was the first time that they played at the Guthrie Center.
Mm-hmm.
I like them so much that we're gonna follow them out to Washington, Mass, on the 30th of August. They're playing at I think at the downtown park somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wherever it's like out.
It's a free concert.
Yeah, it's outside venue like Middleboro House in front of the town hall. So we're gonna go there and we're gonna go see them.
And we're in talks as well with the band.
Yeah, we talked to the band. We're gonna reach out to them. Hopefully
We
they'll be able
might
to call.
have an interview scheduled with them at some point down the road as well. So stay tuned with that.
One thing before I just want to say
Yeah, go
it's weird watching. You got a 3rd generation Guthrie, actually
Mm-hmm.
4th generation Guthrie on the stage.
Yes.
Okay. I thought I'm looking at a picture of Woody. Okay, they got a painting of Woody up on the wall. We were at table 1, so I was looking right at it. I kept looking at Woody for inspiration. And you got Owl. I've seen Owl everywhere. There's not many pictures of Owl around. You know, it's funny. It's his place, but he doesn't plaster his pictures all over the place. It's other people.
Yeah.
And then you have the second is Father Abe, and then you have the cousin. I mean, the third, grandchildren. It just felt like I was watching Owl.
Okay. It is 8:00. Stay tuned for tomorrow's Middleboro Matters because got a great show planned for you. It's Eric with me once again on another Monday, first of the month show. Due to his summer schedule and everything, might do that again in September. I'm not sure yet. He'll let me know. But we'll eventually be going back to the first Friday of the month there. But anyway, we'll have him on tomorrow. I'm sure we're going to get into some Red Sox. They have won their 8th straight series here as well, as they beat the Dodgers 3-2 last night. So whatever happens in today's game, not going to matter because they've won the series. Anyway, 8:01 a.m. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Bye-bye.
We are AM 1530, WVBF, Middleboro, Taunton, and W259DD, Middleboro Center, 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Michael Herron. President Trump says many allies have reached the parameters of a deal to end the Iran war and says he will hold off on ordering new strikes in the 5-month-old conflict for now. In a Saturday evening social media post, Mr. Trump added the emerging deal, quote, would include the immediate, complete, and total opening of the Strait of Hormuz and an end to Iran's nuclear threat.